Good day, good day. Welcome, welcome. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm Jay, and this is Homeschool Yo Kids podcast. Before we get started, make sure you check out homeschoolyourkidsexpo.com. Check out our traveling schedule. We have some great cities on the list this year, so be sure to check it out because we are coming to a city near you. And remember, if you are jumping into this homeschool field of homeschooling full time, know that it was never meant to be done alone, okay? It takes a village. So, major shout out to a couple of our sponsors that are mission to ensure that you find your tribe. We have Classical Conversation, which is a great Christian curriculum based organization that provides curriculum as well as support, community support. So check them out. And then there's Base Camps, which is an amazing new free app. They just launched, I think, in February. But it's pretty cool. It provides community if you're looking for tutors or mentors in your area or any kind of activities. Like they're up and coming. They're building out their platform, but it is something worth checking out. So check them out also. Base Camp. Okay. And today we have with us Damika. Damika, introduce yourself.
Hi, my name is Damica Odom-Thorpe. I am the founder of Sparks Village Academy. I'm also a homeschool mom and a former educator. So yeah.
Okay, first, you look like a teenager, okay? Just FYI, in case you didn't know.
Well, I love that. I'm going on 30, which is crazy to
Hey,
say
good
out loud.
job. All right, good job. I hit 40 last year, so I'm
You,
at
what you
at a
talking?
peak. I'm at a peak right now. But yes, okay, so you have a school and you also homeschool. How did we get here? Because you are also a former educator. So how to walk us through how we got to Sparks Village.
Yeah, so for one, I want to say like I've done so much research on Homeschool Your Kids and I love what you are doing. I actually before this I was talking to my husband and I was like fangirling because I was like, oh my God, I've been
Oh,
following her for so long and you are very much an inspiration into what got me
thank
started.
you.
And I was like, this is like a dream come true. So for one, shout out to you.
Thank you. Thank you for
I
that.
pretty much
Thank
had the
you.
same evolution, like villain arc, character arc story as you. Like, I was teaching and I was just like, I love the experience of teaching and being able to educate kids and the impact that came along with it. But the system, it was like a constant battle every day to get up and go to work and know that I wasn't able to give kids what they needed. And so I was like, I have everything, I have all the tools, all the knowledge that I need. Why don't I just do this by myself? Like I was
Yes.
having this moment, like it was push and pull, right? Because doing something on your own, like being an entrepreneur comes along with a lot of sacrifice that people don't talk about. And so I had that moment and I was just like, you know what? This is my year. I had this moment in 2020. It took me 4 or 5 years to actually act on it, right? And like
And
make
that's
the correct
fine.
thing,
And that's
right?
fine.
And so this year is the first year that I can honestly say like I'm giving 110% into Sparks Village. And honestly, the blessings that have been coming from it, I should have done this early.
Right? I know
But
that's always the thing.
timing is everything. God makes no mistakes. So I would say like the vision is just coming to fruition now. And then at the same time, like I had already, once I stepped in the classroom, I didn't even have kids. And I was like, I'm homeschooling my kids. Like
Me
that's
too.
how
That was
bad.
me. Whole 20s. I'm like, yo, oh yeah, my babies can come here. This is crazy.
This
I'm
is
homeschooling. I used to
crazy.
say it all the time. Go ahead.
And so I had no plan. Like I had no plan whatsoever. I just knew that I didn't want my kids to go at least to public school. Like I was researching like Montessori or private, and nothing really gave the thing. Like whatever it was I was looking for from a school, like nothing was given that. And so I was like, I can just figure out how to do this at home. And so I actually got pregnant during the pandemic. Well, I was due during the pandemic. And so during that time, I actually decided, like, oh, I need to start really thinking about this. Like I said it, but now I actually have to do the work to figure out how I'm going to make this happen so that I can actually homeschool. And so I was on, Facebook was big during the pandemic. Everybody was on Facebook doing stuff. And so I'm in all of the homeschool groups, and that's how I came across you. I'm in the homeschool groups and I'm doing all this research, but I'm like too shy to say anything because I'm like, I'm just a teacher, or I'm just about to be a mom. So I don't know how to participate. A lot of the groups had a lot of moms that didn't really look like me. So I'm like, also, you probably have an experience or resources that I don't have, or a community that I don't have. And so I was encouraged to know that so many people were doing it, but I was discouraged because I'm like, where are all the people that look like me? And so, I started figuring out, like, how do I take what I'm doing and what I want to do with my own household and create a middle point for people who might have to send their kids to school, um, but they might need a little extra assistance. And then also create more of a village for those who are trying to homeschool or are currently homeschooling, but they want to find those people that resonate with them. Like some of the things that I was saying, I was like, yo, like this isn't reality for me. I'm not taking away from that being somebody else's reality, but I don't have an extra room in my house that I can just set up and dedicate to becoming a classroom, So like I was just like,
Oh, excuse me.
how do I do this? And so as I've been doing it, I've been documenting it, I've been working on my business. And so like it just seamlessly seemed to flow. And like I said, like the networking and the people started popping up and the encouragement started increasing and the resources. And I'm just like, okay, I think I'm in my sweet
All
spot. Like
right,
this is where I'm supposed
alignment,
to be.
alignment. Yes.
Yes. Yes, and so I just literally have been, running into so many more individuals, black, brown, who have the same experience or have the same mindset. And that was so hard to do because it's like I'm from the hood. I'm surrounded by a lot of people who are like, not keeping my kid at home. Kid drives me crazy. Like,
What?
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 So being able to share this experience with that part of who I am and show them like, hey, I was in the same street neighborhood as you, and I'm doing this thing and it's working and it's keeping me from some of the same fears and conversations that you're having with me. And while I don't want to come off as like I think I'm better than anybody, like I just want it to be communicated that it's possible and it's not overly difficult.
That.
Yeah.
What had you saying prior to having kids that you were going to homeschool?
I think the reality hit me that like even though I was an impactful teacher, I was teaching elementary at the time.
Okay.
And so I thought about the fact that for one, I started off with fourth grade. And then me and those kids got so attached. And so my principal was like, well, just go up to fifth grade with them kids. And
All
so
night. Oh,
I got to go up to
shit.
fifth grade with them. And then they were leaving to go, to middle school. And so I was thinking about like, okay, I did my big one with these kids. But once they get to middle school, what type of teachers are they going to encounter? What type of experiences are they going to have? And is my impact really enough to keep them from what could happen in the system of education, right?
Oh,
And so I was like, my kids could have great teachers here and there, but the reality of them having 12 years of great teachers is low.
right.
Or just the impact of, I tell people all the time, like it's 28 to 30 different personalities in your classroom at all times. And so even when you are a good teacher, that then turns into, hey, I'm about to send these 5 kids to your class Monday, Wednesday,
Mm,
Friday, and then you then turn to be like stretched too thin. And so it's like
yeah.
even the great teachers are like super stressed out. They have their bad days. And I was thinking about how that can impact a child. Like you hear these rappers or
Mm.
singers that say like, my teacher told me this one day. They told me I'd never be something. And I understand both perspectives. It's like as a kid, that probably meant a lot to you. As a
Yes.
teacher, they were probably fed up.
I know, and that's the funny. Have you seen the ones? It's like that teacher didn't tell you you wasn't gonna be none. She just asked you to read out loud, and you got mad. it is a thing, like, yes. But there are some mean teachers that have said, do shoot some dreams down, but then it's like, did she
Yeah,
really say that? Like this.
right. A relative upset. And so I understood both perspectives. And then I also saw how different kids at a young age were than what I was. Like teaching fourth
Mm,
grade, I was blown away about how exposed kids were. And I was like, there is no way I want my kid at 10 years old coming home asking me certain questions because they didn't heard it at school. And I think that innocence is like the peak of being a child. Like once that's gone, you can't get it back. And so
you
I just was
can't.
like, I really want to protect my child's innocence for as long as possible. And people take that the wrong way. Sometimes they take it as like you're trying to shelter your kid from the world, but it's
Mm,
like no, we have real conversations on a daily basis. And I think that even being a homeschool mom, I've understood that my kids are able to understand that a little bit better than kids who are exposed to certain things earlier because they have to figure that out in real time. Rather than we're
yes.
sitting at home, we're processing this, we're talking about it, you get to see examples about it, you get to ask questions that are appropriate to your development. But if you get that crash course, it's over for you. You know what I'm saying? And not in the best of ways. And it's just like you have those kids and you just want to protect their innocence for as long as possible. I know that they're going to have to experience the real world at some point, but I want them to be emotionally intelligent enough whereby when they do experience it, they have all of the tools that they need to process it and still be successful.
Oh, girl, yes. You said a mouthful. Because I feel like I've now I taught on the middle and high school level.
Oh yeah.
Never elementary, I steer from them because I say y'all elementary school teachers, heaven sent, y'all fallen angels. That was just like, oh, I'll do
I
it.
think we view each other the same way because I'm like,
Like
ain't no way.
middle school is where it's at, but middle school is also like, oh yeah, no, my children can't come here. Whereas I thought elementary, all right. Like
Hmm.
that's when I declared that I wanted to be a teacher because I did have
Yeah,
an impactful elementary school teacher. But like
yeah.
you said, those years of having a good teacher or impactful teacher, they're few and far in between because I didn't
Yeah.
come across another impactful teacher until probably like
Right,
I couldn't even tell you for real.
right.
I feel like Miss Crawford may have been it for real. Like I had a
Listen,
couple that they was cool, but
yeah.
none that made me be like, oh
That
shucks.
one,
Like
right?
yes, right.
Yeah.
So it is it's a hard gamble that we
Hmm.
take when sending our children into a system with
Hmm.
strangers essentially. And then not building no connection with those strangers and just
Yeah.
hoping and praying that, they
Right,
good. I always
right.
give the example how you said 25, 28 personalities in one setting. I always
Mhm.
say, as a parent, think about you sending your child into an elementary school's classroom, third, fourth grade, and everybody in there got a cell phone.
Right.
And everybody in there huddling, show and tell of what they found last
Yes.
night. Look what I
Mhm.
found last night. Look what I found. I don't want that
Yeah.
for my child. Like you said, like by all means, not sheltering because my two are out there. I have to censor them a lot of times
Reel
where
it
I'm
back
like, yo,
in.
don't
Yeah.
don't tell nobody child that or don't
Yes.
do this or don't do
Yes.
that. Like in regards to other people kids because I know
Hmm.
what they know.
Hmm.
But to know that they can go in there and over the course of them 7 hours get introduced to all this new stuff, all this new material, information, everything, and then come home and tell you school was just good. Oh no.
That is a scary sight.
I need to know. I need to know a little
I
bit
need to
more.
know. Yes. Yes.
Yeah,
And my
so
my kids are only 4 and 5, and
oh
so
goodness, babies.
yeah, and so it's like with them, they're in a special spot where like your brain is still soaking in a lot. So
A
it's like
lot.
I could overhear something on the TV, and next thing you know, it's coming out my mouth. That is scary for little kids. Like I don't want you coming home saying anything that I can't explain to your little brain. And so while
Right.
we started early with them, like it was easy to kind of incorporate those social conversations because when you homeschool your kids, everybody say like what about socialization, right? Like that's their favorite question. And it's like they're at the park more than your kids. Like
Right,
they're
right.
outside.
Know
They're
that.
outside more than
Know
most
this.
people. Your kids are in a classroom, and this is no shade to the public school system because we all went through it. But it's just like you're in this classroom, it's very controlled. The personalities, the day-to-day is very controlled, probably 10, 20 minutes of recess max. And my kids are out in the real world on a daily basis, and they get to have those experiences that allow them to ask the right questions about socialization. This person doesn't speak my language. Like, how do we communicate? Those type of things are the type of questions that I'm just like, yes, like rather than you going to school and forming a stereotype or a bias about this person, you can come to
Mm.
me and honestly ask a question like, what does this mean? Or how do I communicate? Like, that's all I could ask for as a parent.
Indeed. And that's the thing with socialization. I don't think people really tap into the definition of socialization.
Yeah.
And truth be told, I don't live by societal norms. Like
Yeah.
me and my household, we don't follow a lot of the same traditions or
Mhm.
like value the things that people value or, things of that nature. So when thinking about socialization and the fact that it is naturally just for an individual to learn those societal norms, to
Yeah.
learn those values and principles we're supposed to,
Yeah.
as Americans, essentially stand on. No, I'm good on that because it's not
It's like,
how
do
I
you know
want.
what America was actually formed on? And why would I want my
No.
kids to learn that?
Like, nah, I'm actually, I'm good.
Yeah.
Like, I'm good. I think they pretty social. They may not be socialized, but they
Right.
real social out here. I can tell you that.
Facts. Facts. I completely agree. Yeah.
Yes. So, okay. So you had already declared we homeschooling, and then through that homeschooling, not only do I want to teach my kids, I want to
Mhm.
be able to provide support and be a resource to other families. Let's
Yeah.
talk about let's talk about it. What's Sparks Academy?
Yeah. So essentially, I just started off while I was teaching, and especially during the pandemic, people would call me and be like, hey, because I was the only teacher everybody knew. They'd be like, hey,
Mm-hmm.
my kid needs help with this subject. And I'll be on Zoom, on FaceTime, like doing this whole lesson. Like I done created a PowerPoint and all of this because I genuinely love education. Like I think that for me, education is what allowed me to not be a statistic, right? Like it
Mm-hmm.
opened so many doors for me. Um, just I was always a nerd, like I always, and it didn't look good in school, but in the real world, I was like, oh, this is getting me all of these type of opportunities. And
Mm-hmm.
so, everybody expected something like this from me. But I think that sometimes we get caught up in that bubble of expectation. So long story short, people knew I was a teacher. They would call me for tutoring. They would call me for like, how do I communicate this with my child's teacher? And I was like, okay, I see the purpose here. And um I just got to a point where I was like, I need to make something out of this. And so I started tutoring. I started Sparks Village Academy just specifically as tutoring. But then as time went on, people would call me about parent stuff too. And I was like, okay, I understand that it takes a village to raise a child, but I need a village to help me help y'all. So I started like reaching out to people and I was like, I need you to be a tutor for me. Like, I need you to help me out here. I need you to run a parenting class for me. My mom is actually a mental health professional, so she's the one who facilitates the majority of our parenting classes. And I just want to continue to grow Sparks Village in a way that allows people to see professionals or people that look like us in roles of like, this is a resource for you. Like, I'm not so far disconnected from you that I can't take an hour of my time to tutor your child or take an hour of my time to have a conversation with you about why this thing is hard for you. Because once we really open it up, I tell people all the time, as a teacher, I was starting to understand. I would have students that were struggling in my class, and as soon as their parents came in, I'll be like, oh, and that's all I could say is, oh. because it makes so much
Understanding.
sense once
Yes,
you
yes.
realize like who is around this child 24/7 and they want the help. It's just we
Mm-hmm.
created this culture that is so what goes on in my house stays in my house. I don't want to
Mm,
tell anybody I'm struggling because I'm a single mom by choice and blah blah blah. Like I don't want to have a village. I want to struggle in silence, just figure it out. And to me that's so toxic. Like for your
yeah.
kids, for your family, like you have to be able to say I need help. And
Yeah.
as a homeschool mom, it's even more so because most of the people that raised you or were part of your village don't know anything about this entity that is homeschooling. You know what I'm saying? And so I just realized how I could touch various points in people's lives and help create that community for them in a way where it's like, well, if you're homeschooling, you're not the only Black homeschooling mom. If your child needs tutoring, your child is not the only one struggling in school. If you're struggling as a parent with your own traumas and background, let's dive into that and let's talk about that so you can be the best parent that you can be. And without the shame. Like, let's take away the judgment, let's take away the shame, and let's just go through it because we're all going through it. Like, I'm realizing
Yes.
so many things as a parent that it's like, I said I would never be that mom. And here I am sounding just like mom. Like we have those aha moments, but you also need somebody that you can say that to, and they can be like, okay, well, let's break that down. Let's talk about it. Like, we have talked so much, like, overhead about mental health, and like, it's
Mhm.
great, right? We understand the word trauma. We understand the word gaslighting. We know about generational curses or, whatever the case may be. But now it's like, okay, now that we know all of this, we have the knowledge, and I'm an educator. So after you have the knowledge, it's time to use it. It's time to do something
Mhm.
about it. We can't just keep having triggers and say, well, my kid triggered me. So that's why I like, okay, and now that you know that's a trigger, what are we gonna do about it? Like,
Right.
how are we gonna make small changes in our day-to-day life to accommodate for those triggers, or even to have a conversation with your kid and let them know why you're triggered. Like, let's be a little bit transparent with our kids instead of just because I said so, or like, just it's so much that I feel like we can benefit from as a community. And so I created Sparks Village to be that hub of like, I need this. I don't know where to find it. Okay, well, let me help
Yeah.
you. Let me connect you with somebody. Let me be a resource. And I'm just gonna put this out there. Like, I have been hoping to connect with you someday because you are like a digital mentor for me. And I hope that we can make this a real thing in
Oh,
real life
girl, and
because
I'm sitting here being inspired. Well, you better hush
I've
it.
been
I am merely your
so
reflection, love. Just as
excited.
inspired as you are by me, I'm inspired by you. Because
Yes.
this is everything. You're speaking on everything that I value also, which is
Mhm.
healing, community, love, just foundational support in general. Like, yes,
Yes.
love, like we are doing it. Like, I'm
Yes.
not just doing it, we are doing it. And that's why I value these conversations so much, because
Mhm.
you just get introduced to the people who are doing the work, being a part of
Yes.
the solution. Because, like you said, we could talk about these problems all day, every day, like
Mhm.
trauma. Da, 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 da. Okay, but what we gonna do about it? Like, all right,
Right.
so
Right.
what's the solution? Like, I'm
Right.
solution based. Like, my
Yes.
kids will tell you they couldn't get to arguing. Da, 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 da. Okay, so what's the solution?
Yes.
I heard
Yes.
you, but
But
what?
now what?
How do we solve this?
Yes.
Okay, because
Yes.
like, I'm
And
not
you
picking
see both
sides.
sides.
Solution.
Yeah, you
Yes,
see both sides. You're like, I understand you. I understand you. So now what? Because I
yes,
understand teachers. Teachers are having the conversations on the parking lot every
yes.
day. Like, these parents need more help and they gotta do this with their kids. And it's like, okay, that's true. But these parents are also, I work 80 hours a week. I don't have
Mhm.
time to help with homework. I'm exhausted. I'm still thinking about the things that my parents did to me. Like, both
Right.
sides are true. What do we do about it? What do we do about it?
Right. Create,
Mm-hmm.
build,
Yes,
structure. Yes.
yes,
Because so many times over am I asked, can you homeschool my kids? And I'm like, no, I can't. But I can teach you and show
yes,
you or provide resources to other, villages that can homeschool your kid.
yes.
I'm not set up in that manner just yet. the universe said I'm supposed to be moving around right now. So
Yeah.
when I'm
And
sitting still, then like bring them on. Like
yeah.
let's do this. But right now, I like being able to direct
Hmm.
and show and hey, there's this resource for you here. There's this person here. Where are you located?
So I am located in the Nashville, Tennessee area. But our Sparks Village, like, it's a completely digital platform. So one day my goal is to start a physical micro school, and like I want to be able to have like financial literacy classes there on the weekends, and like have laundry services available for families.
Oh
And,
yes,
you
girl. You
know,
know people
I
don't like
wanted
washing their
to
clothes.
yeah, I want it to be like a community center, but I want to be able to have students come. Like you said, I love the behind the scenes world at this point. So I want to train teachers. I want to do all of that, but I don't want to be hands on with it, which is the same
Right.
thing going Smart Village. I'm like, let me teach you how to tutor so that I don't have to do it anymore because I love the directing. I love the
Yeah.
behind the scenes. I don't like being the face. Like I'm not the out. And I think that's something that a lot of people who have a heart for this kind of work like realize about themselves. It's like I don't have to be in the front. I understand what the
Mhm.
work does and how it works as a machine almost in order to give kids what they need in order to be successful. So it's like my face doesn't matter. The work matters, but I don't care.
Indeed,
Yeah, I
indeed.
don't care
And
about
what you're building is everything. I just finished earlier I interviewed one of the founders of Brilliant Detroit. Have you ever heard of
it.
them?
Yeah, I've been all up and down the websites and all of the things. Yes.
Yes. So
Mhm.
what you're building is essentially what they
Yeah.
have going on. You
Yeah.
just have like it's like you're starting, but you
Hmm.
have the potential to grow into however many, they have 24 hubs in
Yeah.
Detroit and she said they're moving on to Philly next.
I love that.
I love what? I love this.
I
Like I
love
love
it.
seeing this work.
Mhm.
Because it goes well beyond just educating people. It really does go to creating that village and creating and providing that love that people need. Like
Yeah.
people need to feel love, people need to feel seen, people need to feel valued. And we need healing. Like,
Yeah.
it's like, oh, we want people to just keep on going, 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 and doing, but we don't want to get to, like you said, those traumas. We don't want to talk about and really actually heal and move on from them.
Hmm.
We got to.
We have to. Me and
We
my husband
have
were just
to.
having a conversation about just being present and how the world is like society is created to keep you from being present. Like every time you turn around, you have something else that's a distraction. But that is like so toxic to the family dynamic, right? Like how can I be in two places at one time? Like how can I give all of this to my career and give all of this to my kids? And like it's too much. And so
It's a
we
lot.
have been working so hard to just like stop and be present. Like
Mm.
if it's just a movie night, like how do we stop and be present? Like put the phones to the side, and if we're watching this movie, like, what are you getting from this? What are your thoughts on this? And every time, I promise, we get so much insight on like our kids and who they are and who they're becoming and their characters and their personalities. And I think that for most people, because everything is just so fast and on the go, like they forget to have those moments. And it's no shame. It's just like I want to be that person that reminds you to like, hey, if you sit down and read with your kid for 10 minutes every day, you will be surprised the
It'll
type of
make you want to,
conversations, the
yes,
the
it
the
make you want to do
learning
it
that'll come from
more.
that. Yeah, like it is so simple, but it's so profound at the same time.
It is because how the world is structured, like, especially like economy wise, like money
Hmm.
wise, like that's what it
Hmm.
all comes down to. People having
Yeah,
enough money to survive,
yeah,
and most are in survival mode. And so
yeah,
when you're asking them to be present for some stuff while they're worried about this bill that's due next week,
exactly.
it's real hard.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I
It
tell
is
people all the time, as a homeschool mom, the dollar store is my favorite place. I go
what?
there and get me some flashcards and like I'm not, I like to be very transparent with the fact that I'm not that person. I don't have it all. I was a teacher for one, so we know what type of salary I'm coming from. So it's just
Right.
like I've been able to make it work. We have like a little square corner in our living room that has like our homeschool materials and stuff like that. And then most of the time we're learning on the bed, on the floor, in the living
Yeah.
room. Like it's not, we don't have all of these things, but we're making it work. And I don't even use a curriculum at this point. Like I'm just going, like, what y'all want to learn about today? Y'all like the clouds? All right, let's talk about clouds today. Like,
Yes.
and what's wrong with it? What kids are interested in, it'll come out in conversation, and that's your moment to capitalize on that. Like, if your kid is bringing something up to you, that's your moment to be like, hold on, let's dig into this. Like, the minute they say something, because if you shut them down, they're going to start to see you as a not safe space to tell about my thoughts and my ideas. And so it's like, I wanted to keep that like openness with my children. I see how it
Right.
is in school. Like in school, you raise your hand, the teacher got to move on to the next subject. It's no, it's not intentional to make you feel silenced, but in a way, it's like, dang, I can't even ask my question. I don't want to raise my hand no more. And then you start to shut down, and that creativity starts to fade. And that intelligence start to be like, I don't really care about this anymore. And it's a sad process because school is just, we got to get to this, we got to get to that. And I was just like, I want my kids to be able to say, like, my daughter just came to me and like she's really big on like she wants to be a cosmetologist when she grows up.
Aw.
On Fridays, like we get together and we just learn something new about hair. It's just
Mm.
that simple. But it's like for somebody to be able to listen to you and what you want. And she knows that if tomorrow she wants to be a Olympian, I'm going to be like, all right, well, let's learn about that next. So I think with kids in the school system, like you feel married to this thing. Like I said, I wanted to be a doctor in the third grade. And so for me, I did a crazy jump. I went from elementary to college. I started being a professor, and I saw the damage of that third grader saying, I want to be a doctor when I grow up. And here you are, a completely different individual at 18 than you were in the third grade. But because you said it out of your mouth and the pressure of school made you feel like that has to be your reality,
I know you got to stick with it. It's like, what
sure.
did I put? What
50
I
grand in
put?
debt for something that you don't even love. Like let's not do that to our kids. Yeah.
No, that is that's it's like a trickle down, like you
Mhm.
said. Like if you go to school and you not being really seen, I used to have students tell me that I talk to them more than their parents talk to them, and
Yeah.
I was just like, how? Like I was always like how Sway? Because it's like it's 30 of y'all in here, and it's one of me. Like we got an hour together.
Yeah.
Like how Sway? Like that's not, and that's why my like a big message I always hone down on: talk to your kids, talk to your kids,
Mhm.
talk to your kids, talk to your kids, because your kids
Yeah.
want to be talked to, like, and they're
Yeah.
going to be talked to, whether it's you or not.
By you.
Right?
By
That's
you.
what you better know. Like they're gonna find them answers.
Yeah.
Okay, so let it not be Google. Let it not be necessarily like Google without you, basically. Like by
Yeah.
all means, because you probably have to go to Google with them, but do it together.
Yeah.
Like do
Yeah.
it together.
Yeah.
Like teach them about credible sources and non-credible
Mhm.
resources, because I've had that talk, and because mine are at the Googling age, and they
Yeah.
will like ask Google some things real quick. Hey,
Yeah.
Google. And I'm just like, okay, well, let's look at these and let's talk
Mhm.
about, but I feel like that spark kind of just goes out the window. Like you said, the older we get, the more like we get less paid attention to. And it's just like, oh, well, do I really have a purpose here? Like it's like you
Yeah.
fade to the back and it's like,
Yeah.
like, it's the same thing. I say by 10th grade, like I feel most the average had checked out by 10th
Mhm.
grade. When my 10th graders got to me, they were literally just there because,
Yeah.
they don't want to get their parents locked up. Like they gotta
Yeah.
come.
Right. I gotta be here, so I'm here.
Right? Yeah, truancy is real. And they knock on
Yeah.
your door. But I don't want to be here. I don't see a purpose for being here. I'm not sure why I'm spending all my time here. And it's like what do you do with that? Because you don't want a child's time. I feel like that's what my beef with school was. I
Mhm.
felt like my time was being wasted. It's
Yeah.
like, why am I here? Like, why am I here? So much so that, you know what? Y'all aren't doing anything valuable with my time. I'm gonna take a nap. I'm gonna go ahead and take a nap. And I'm gonna holler at y'all when the bell ring. Like that was my day. Most times I was asleep. I slept.
Mhm.
I slept a lot.
Yeah, because I think that most of the time we're not being real with kids. Like a lot of it is just the curriculum. Somebody told me I had to do it, and that's why I checked out. I was like, I'm not agreeing with the things that's on this paper. And kids are the best. Like kids are the best at seeing through BS. Like they can see it. If you're not believing what you're up there talking about, checked out. So I had to be honest with myself and say, like, either I'm gonna get fired because I'm in here telling kids the truth, or I'm gonna just respectfully bow out, like, and just say,
Right.
like, this ain't for me.
Like, Lord, don't let me get fired on my day off. That's why I always like checking emails, like, oh, did I say something?
Because you got to be true to yourself. And when I'm up there and they're asking me questions about whether it's history or something they saw online, I'm not going to be that person that allows the system to keep me from being a real educator. Y'all want teachers, y'all don't want educators. I
Yeah.
want to educate. I want you to know, like, yeah, that point is valid, but this point is also valid. And it's okay to not be a part of group think. It's okay to have an
Oh,
opinion that's different than the rest of the world. And
that
actually,
socialization, girl. That's that socialization people looking for. Mm-mm.
yeah, I
Mm-mm.
raise a sheet and like stand out, shake the table, get on somebody.
Please flip it over if you
Like,
need
yeah,
to. Move it over there. Fold it. Just get rid of the table. We don't even need the table.
yes. We need to do more
Yes.
voice finding with our kids, and we need to allow them the opportunity to like be creatives and speak up against things that they disagree with. Like I remember when I was in school, this is so petty, but I think that it has a lot to do with like the activism side of me, like me finding my voice. I was in middle school and I didn't like the lunches that they were serving. And so I was like, oh no, like we about to boycott lunch. And like
Yes.
my mom was like, well, if that's what you want to do, I'm getting kids to sign a petition. I'm like, we all gonna bring lunches. If we gotta share our lunch, like we not eating their lunch no more. Lo and behold, next thing you know, here comes the principal, superintendent want to have a meeting with me, find out what's
Oh,
the lunches.
yes.
And that just inspired me. Like, if you don't like something or if you see something as a problem, say it. Speak truth to
Yes.
power. Like, say it. Like, just don't be afraid. And I think the more that we as adults get into that mindset of like, I just gotta do what I gotta do to get by. Like it's showing in our kids. Like that's what they're doing. Like they're just doing what they gotta do. They don't feel like their opinion matters. They don't feel like their voice matters. They don't feel like if they say something, anything's gonna change. So they just go along. My parents don't go to jail if I don't come here. So here I am. You know?
Right.
That's sad.
Yeah, it is sad. And I feel like teachers need to like teachers, educators need to speak up more. I
Mhm.
always felt like they were like some of the most complacent individuals that I ever came across. It's like you said, they having those parking lot meetings. Oh, by all
Yeah.
means, they park a lot meeting or classroom, you got the fellow classroom meeting. But ain't nobody ever talking up and speaking to who matters, or like they ain't saying
This
nothing with their
energy in
chest.
PD.
Well, they ain't saying nothing, right? But why you ain't say this with your chest? Like earlier when they was telling us this foolishness. Like you just gonna agree to this?
Hmm.
I used to say a lot with my chest and be like,
Same.
I'm not doing it. Like,
I'm a crazy person. I'm always the crazy one.
what? Yes, no.
Why
I
not?
felt like teachers were just so accepting of things that they knew were not going to work in their classroom. Just
Hmm.
so accommodating to people who had never even been in a classroom, telling them, oh, you need to do this, and them not giving no kind of pushback. And I'm like, Nah, I'm gonna just keep doing what I was doing because y'all don't even know these kids. It's like y'all know them.
Right. Have you had a conversation with them? Do you know how crazy I'm gonna look if I get up there doing it?
You
No.
don't even know Baby D. Like that's the thing. You don't even know her. Like, don't do that. Don't do that. But I hear
Yes.
you. But I hear you
Yes.
though. But yeah, no, I feel like more people definitely need to do that idea that, like you
Hmm.
said, it took you a minute to actually act on this and bring it into
Hmm.
fruition. But here we are. We got it. We
Yeah.
got Sparks
Yeah.
Village.
Yeah.
Okay, so you are a virtual platform, so people are able to reach out to you and say, boom, this is a service that I need, or do you have a list of services that you provide? Because I know you said that, oh, if
Yeah.
it's mental health wise, that you got something for
Mhm.
that, if it's for the adult or the kid. So what all do you all do?
Yeah, so I basically broke it into two parts. So the first part is the village, and that is basically geared to parents or guardians or whoever it might be that's supporting the child. And so that's your parenting classes, your life coaching. The parenting classes are virtual, the life coaching is virtual. Parenting classes are completely free. You just hop on once a month, like we drop the date and advertise it on social media, and you just hop on and it's very chill, right? Like we're just having a conversation. We have different topics that we talked about. So, anything from like communication, like how do you communicate with your kids best? And then we talk about other things like discipline, like what does that look like in 2025? Everybody's talking about gentle parenting and conscious
Right.
parenting and those type of conversations. And I think that, naturally, like intuitively, like we're interested in that conversation, but then we have like the conflict of like, okay, I never did this before. Everybody in my family gonna be looking at me crazy when I'm bending down eye to eye with my kid trying to have a conversation. Like, and
Who
we
give
need
me
to
respect to my child?
talk,
Like who does this?
like we need to talk about like why it feels weird and why like
Right.
how can I slowly but surely get to this point and what's my end goal? And I think that so many times like you'll call your mom, your grandma, your aunt, and they'll be like, girl, let me just whoop that baby.
Uh,
Like just put her in the corner. Like and so you need to be able to have a village. And so that's what the village part is about. It's more so for the parents to get what they need. Like you're a professional, you probably want some life coaching, you want a mentor, you want this, you want that. You're a parent, you probably want to have these conversations, but you don't have a safe space to have it. And then the academy is more so the education side. And so that is where we offer tutoring for children. We also just started e-courses. And so these are $10 courses that you can take just because you want to have hobby or you want a new friend. Like you want to learn more about skincare, you want to learn more about taxes, you want to cook with your kids. Like we offer these courses online so that I think one of the things that I learned during the pandemic was like everybody wants something to do. But as the world opened back up, it was like, well, I'm getting back into the day to day and I don't have time to drive here and get tutoring. I don't have time to drive here and do this fun thing. And so basically, I just created the online platform where you don't have to drive anywhere. You can do this with your kid if you want. You can do it by yourself if you want. You can get what you need without having to leave your home.
And that's what's needed.
Mhm.
So it's a la carte. It's like, okay, whatever you need,
Yep.
we
We
got
got
it.
it. Hmm.
Nice.
Yeah.
So, because I know you say you want to eventually grow into the micro school level. You don't
Yeah.
feel like you're on the micro school level as far as the academy part goes. It's just mainly tutoring right now.
Yeah. Right now it's tutoring. I want to grow to that point where like,
And you will.
yeah, I want to get there. I think because like I'm balancing like being a mom and I'm still trying to figure out this like entrepreneurial world. Like, how do I actually, create something sustainable from this? And so that's why I'm like always online. I'm looking at everybody else who's doing it. Like, I'm a teacher, which also means I'm a learner, right? Like, I love to learn. I'm soaking up what everybody else is doing, the routes that they're taking, and I'm trying to figure out like what's going to work for me. And so eventually, like, yeah, we're gonna do this micro school thing. But right
Indeed.
now, like we're getting started. We're getting the wheels rolling. Yeah.
Yes. Have you tapped into Vela?
I have. I've
Okay,
applied.
good.
I've applied once. I also did what's the name of the cohort? CAPOD. I did CAPOD
Okay.
community. and it's just a cohort of individuals who want to start a micro
My
school.
schools, yeah.
Yeah, and I was a part of that, and then I moved. So my husband is more of like a spontaneous type, and so like we got married and like completely moved, and so it was like I just moved away from everything and everybody I know, and so it's like
Mm,
I don't want to go around here without establishing myself like in the community before like I start like something physical, and so obviously I wanted to keep the community that I already had. So that's like the digital part. But it's like now that I'm
yeah.
a whole new area, I have to reestablish myself here. And I've only been here in Nashville for a year. So it's just like trying to find my people all over again.
And you will. Are you do you have like a co-op factor, like with the village? Is it
So
kind of co-op-y?
I just downloaded Basecamp.
Okay.
What you were talking about earlier, I just downloaded that. And so I'm trying to find out like what is the homeschool scene here? Like,
Okay.
like I definitely want to get to that point though. Like I'm having conversations with a lot of other homeschool moms who have started co-ops, and I'm like, oh, this is really cool. Like I
Mhm.
thought that it would be a little weird, if I'm being honest. Like I'm just like, I don't know if I want to be around a whole lot of people who might have different points of views or whatever. But then I'm like, that's exactly what I want. So now,
Right.
now I'm like, okay, let me find my people, but then also allow my kids to see that like other people are doing this. Because one thing my kids always ask about is like, where are other homeschool kids at? And I'm like, I don't know. I'm trying to find them. Like, so
Libraries. They at the library, they at the
yeah,
park during the day,
yeah.
things of that nature. Any kind of
We're
free
doing the same
activities.
thing. We just have to find a way to connect us all. And so I'm definitely like I'm pretty sure this summer or next summer, like I love the summers. So that'll be one of my goals is to start or join a co-op.
Yes, and I was gonna say, just know that when you start, or if you start one, they
Mhm.
will come quickly. Quickly, they will find you because it's
That's
like,
what
yo, I was looking for this.
we all looking for it. Yeah.
Yes, so it just take one person saying, "Oh, okay, this is our name. Look, this is the name. Sign up here."
Yeah,
Like
it's
it's
coming.
that simple. Yes.
It's on the way.
Good, good. I appreciate everything that you're doing. Thank you so much for following your passion and
Thank
really like saying, okay, even though I'm not in the classroom, I still can do what I'm
you.
purposed to do, which is
Like you have like I said earlier, I was fangirling because I check every year. Like, let me see if this expo coming to Nashville. Like,
oh, I
so
know you saw we went to Memphis last year, at the Lab School of Memphis.
yes,
Like, big shout out to them. They're
yes.
amazing. I told you we may actually, because I feel like we had a micro school offer space
Mhm.
in that, like in that area of Tennessee. I have to reach out to them, but we may put them on the schedule for next year.
Yes.
I was born in Tennessee. I was born in Chattanooga,
Really?
so
Oh,
yeah.
yes, you were
Even though I
so.
couldn't tell you anything about it or anything, but that's where I was born though.
I grew up in the Midwest and I went to TSU, so I came down here and I was like, oh, I love it. Like, I love the weather. I love
Really?
hospitality. And so I did my back and forth between home and other places in the Midwest. And I was just like, no, I like the South. Like, I'm going back South. And so when my husband was like, let's move, let's start from scratch, I was like, we're going down South then,
You
child. 'Cause
consider Tennessee the South? Really? Put them really in, I guess, because they are right above Georgia. So, but
yeah.
I don't know. I guess it does give South. I don't
And
know.
I was in the best ways, but yes, it does give South.
Right? Yeah, it does. Well, it does give South. We hung out there for like 2 weeks last summer, and it was cool. The girls enjoyed the time. It's country.
I would say I've been following like your journey probably since the pandemic because that is when I started looking, I was looking for resources and all of that. And I just always been drawn. Like I go on your website probably once. I'm not a stalker, but I'll go on your website and I'm just like, oh, I love this.
Me, yeah,
I'm like,
because I stalk other people.
and I'm like, your bio is so similar to mine. I feel like we get the same vibes. Like, and you're doing it. And so it gives me inspiration and hope to know, like, okay, I'm not crazy. I can do this, you know? And
Yes,
so you are so
definitely.
inspiring to my story.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that so much. I got two more things for you before I let you go. So,
Yeah, okay.
one, how do you self-care with all that you're building and doing? You got a 4 and 5 year old. I know they keep you on your toes. How do you make sure you stay replenished?
I touch grass. I'm an
Mm.
outside girly. Like I like to hike, which is weird because you don't hear that a lot from people that look like me. But if we find a good hiking trail out here in Tennessee, like I love it. I love to be in nature and just I'm not the type to like have my headphones in. Like I just want to hear the sounds of nature. I think it's so beautiful. That's why I love it. That's part of why I love the South is because it's warm. It's a lot more warm than the Midwest. In the Midwest, like you're always in the house or you need like 6 bundles just to go outside. And I'm like, I want to go outside and practically have my feet in the grass. Like, and that is my thing. Like, I love nature. And so being out here, like we go hiking regularly. We go outside. We're always at a park. And I try to make sure that I take care of me. So I listen to a lot of podcasts. Like I'll be doing the dishes and listening to a podcast or listening to a book because I am a nerd still. I'm still very much so I like, being able to say that even though I'm in school, like I'm doing learning that benefits me as a person. And I think, being having all of these titles, sometimes we get too connected to the titles. So it's like, I'm a mom, so I have to be in mom mode all the time. But sometimes I just say no. Like today, we're not doing it. And I don't feel bad about it because I know that when I am able to pour, I'm able to pour from a full cup. So I'm okay with saying no. I'm okay with protecting my peace. I'm okay with binge watching a TV show because I know that when I do pour into my kids, I'm giving them my all.
Yeah.
Um, Same with like being a wife. Like, I'm not making dinner today, dude. So sorry. Like I've learned to, and this is something that I feel like comes along with like once you creeping up to that 30 hill, like
Girl,
I'm
please.
I'm learning to say no and like using my voice in my career looks a lot differently than using it at home because you have like all the societal pressures of like you're a mom, you're supposed to cook every day, or you're a wife, you're supposed to
That's
like
crazy.
no. Like
I don't like those supposed to. Don't tell me what I'm supposed to do. You don't know me.
so
You
let me
don't-
no, or I'm not going to, or just finding little ways. Like I might have to sit here and fold these clothes, but I'm gonna listen to me a podcast and not be bothered while I do it. So I think that's my self-care right now, but then also finding my community, like finding other people who are doing the same thing as me and like figuring out along the way. It makes me feel a lot less crazy. It makes me feel a lot more validated, empowered, inspired, and having conversations like these.
Indeed. Oh, I love it. You're remembering you. You're remembering who you are as
Yeah.
opposed to just owning those titles, those
Mhm.
labels or whatever. Yes, I be trying to tell my 11-year-old girl, I've been Jay way longer than you've been here. Please know. You don't know my life. Like, yo, I'm a thug in real life. Like, don't play with
Okay.
me.
No, baby,
Like,
who I am.
right? Like, whew. Whew, I've done a lot to get to where I'm at. Okay, I've done a whole lot. Don't take me back. Don't take me.
Okay.
We're going forward. Okay. And three things. Three things. If parents didn't hear nothing else in this conversation, three things you want to leave them with.
Yeah, for one, listen to your kids. Like, talk and listen. Like, don't just talk to them or at them. Listen to them and really get to know who your kids are. I think one of the biggest things that I realized early on is like, these are just little humans. Like, it's not like they
I
don't
call them
understand.
little people.
Yeah, it's not, they understand like if you talk to them, they're gonna be like, okay, next, like they just soak it up and then like you think it's gonna be this big thing because you think of kids as kids, but when you think of them as tiny humans, like you said, they're just like, all right, like learn something new today, next. So I think, those conversations are important for one. I think two, it's okay to ask for help. Like, don't get caught up in the pride of like, I'm a parent, so that means X, Y, or Z, or I'm a mom, so that means I need to be this type of person, or I'm a dad, so I need to be the disciplinarian. Like, if you're a softie or the fun one or whatever it is, like thrive in that and like figure
Right.
out how that works for your kids. But yeah, definitely, ask for help. Like ask for help. Because it does take a village. Like it literally takes a village. And help might not come from the people you expect it to come from. Like if your parents are toxic, then that's probably not where you're going to find your help. But you have to be willing to ask for it in order to actually find it. And when we speak things out of our mouth, like the universe knows how to bring it our way. So definitely ask for help would be two. And then three is definitely take care of yourself. You cannot pour from an empty cup. Um, don't be afraid to say no if you're not feeling it. For all the homeschool moms out there, every day doesn't have to be a learning experience. Sometimes going to the park can just be going to the park. Like it doesn't
And
always
make
have to
a
be a
yes.
thing. Yeah,
Yes.
you don't have to make a lesson out of everything, but you can, but you don't have to. um, but yeah, I think just being able to remember like you're a person and you're a human being and your needs and your desires matter. If you want to go on a vacation, go on a vacation and don't feel bad about it. If you need to book you a hotel for one night and, just sleep without any interruptions, like feel validated in doing what you need to do for you because then that allows you to be the best person for everybody around you.
Thank you so much for that. Like this has been amazing. I'm just like, like you definitely like get when you sent me the email before I told you thank you for sending this energy my way. You've done it again. Like it's like, oh girl, I feel like I could accomplish a lot today. Like this is and so like
I
okay.
love fuzzy inside.
Right, yes. Yes. Well, I appreciate you all the work that you're doing. Parents, understand that if you see a lack in your community, you can be the solution. You can build whatever it is that you feel that is needed. Everything starts with as an idea. Everything, like everything, this microphone starts as an idea, this computer, this like, the internet, everything starts as an idea and somebody has to act on it. So understand if you build it, they will come. I appreciate you so much for everything that you have created. Sparks Village Academy. Make sure you check them out. Virtual platform. Links will be available in the description. But definitely remember that this is not a journey you have to do alone. Like this is life itself is not a journey meant to be done alone. It is so much better with support, so much better with community. Just make it a dope community. Like, find your people. Find
And your
your
people
people. Okay. But homeschool your kids.
help for your kids, right?
Yes.